There it is. Younes. Finally, after years of kind of hanging out kind of in the Discord, having chats here and there, we finally got you on NX Live. It's long overdue. How are you doing, sir?
Listen, pretty fine. Happy the year is finished, so we can start another one. But yeah, pretty excited about what's coming next year.
Yeah, what are you most excited for 2025?
I think the testing story might change in the web. So that's what I'm hoping for.
Interesting. Okay.
I think the way where tools are going is the right path.
I want to pull on that string a little more, if you don't mind. Where do you think we're headed?
I think.
Where do you think we are now? Maybe that's the better question to start with. Where are we now, and where are we headed, and where should we be headed?
We're lost in the middle of the ocean.
Okay.
Now the way I say is that so in the Angular ecosystem, like we had Karma and Jasmine, and the idea was pretty amazing. Like, okay, we bundle your stuff and we run everything in a real browser, and you get the feedback in the terminal and stuff, and it was great. But well, Karma is deprecated, and like the developer experience was still a little bit tricky. Then Jest arrived, and in my opinion, NX made it popular for the Angular ecosystem because you could enable it pretty easily.
Yeah.
And but the problem with Jest is, okay, if we're testing Node.js, it's okay. Like if you're testing your backend and stuff, but if you're testing like components, you might want to see them for real first, and also you want to run in a real browser. And right now, the only things we have is things like JS or HappyDOM, which are like emulators of the browser in Node.js.
Right.
Which, in my opinion, is just like, wow, it's amazing. Like, I wouldn't know where to start that. Like, it's pretty amazing how like it works. And it's not even that slow, but it works. But
yeah,
I mean, it's not a real browser, and it's really hard to keep track of what's happening in browsers.
Yeah. And well, the wild thing is the browser's right there, right? Like with I don't know if it's Karma. Karma was the framework, and Jasmine was like the test runner. Is that right? I don't know. I forget how that all works, but it was right there. Like that's what people were using. It was in the browser, not because, and it was kind of tedious to put it in the browser, but it's in the browser because that's the environment you're going to do stuff in, right?
Yeah.
So I have my whole other take on like Angular and how Angular kind of, with good intentions, unfortunately, like messed everyone up for testing. And that was just with like the generators that they provided, the code gen for the component.
Oh,
every component comes with a spec file. And I think that's just the wrong signal to send, because everyone infers from that what I should be testing now is my class, like my TypeScript class. And that's like the whole, in my opinion, even where you draw the boundaries of where your components are, is completely immaterial to what you should be testing. Like you should be able to switch around and say, hey, this component is now 4, or this component is like now merged into this one. And it shouldn't matter. Like you should test the app by testing the app, like not by setting up this artificial sandbox. That's I don't know. It's
what. Yeah, I see where you're heading. Well, that's something that I think it's also one of the things that I'd like to.
We're not alone. It's
okay. So, okay, that's interesting. What's test? So yeah, the first thing is like the whole generator's story is pretty interesting. Like, well, the first thing that I recommend to people is just to disable like
stop making the spec files automatically.
Yeah, because like, and plus it adds like false code coverage because it just instantiating the component, you're not doing anything, you're not making any assertions. But then in terms of like the size of the system under test, that's a big topic that I try to cover as much as possible. Is that I think there is a trade-off there between like over narrow test that like test one component in total isolation, and going end to end for like a really big application doesn't make much sense. So you have to find like a good trade-off, but still you want to run this in a browser, and that's, I think, is the future we're heading to next year, and we're not there yet properly. So
Yeah.
and I think that Vitest has a path, and Playwright component testing is going another path, and I think there's something interesting there.
That's cool. Yeah. So I'm definitely all in on like the Playwright approach to testing stuff, because like maybe you could tell from my just this is the way I answered the previous question. I think we should just test the thing to test the thing. That's kind of like what Playwright is. Like if you look at it, I think there's two packages. I haven't looked at it super deep recently, but I think Playwright ships two packages, and one's just like it's essentially a browser driver. We're just driving the browser. You can use it for web scraping. Like it's not necessarily for testing. And then there's Playwright test, and that's where like you can do the assertions and stuff like that. I think that's like the way to do it, in my opinion. And I don't know, the big shift I'd love to see is a lot of things go more towards end-to-end testing. And like, yes, we want to test the front end, but I'd prefer to test the whole system using the front end as a way of doing that, like using it the way your users are going to use it, which I understand you want to do. You want to supplement that with a bunch of other stuff. But to me, that's like the biggest thing you want. And if you're only going to do one thing, I would think that's what you want to do. So.
It's a good starter, but I wouldn't say like that would be like that should be like your main testing strategy. Like, for instance, like one of my angles of testing is like I take unit and integration tests and I throw them in the trash. And then
where they belong,
because nobody knows, and like you have debates around, oh, is it a unit, is it an integration test? So the way I see it is and it's something like I'm covering in my testing course, and I try to summarize also in my cookbook, which is public, so that I really want to change the testing experience.
Where's your cookbook? Let's throw it in the chat for people to see.
Let's here it is. It's here. And what? I didn't join the chat yet. Well, I'm going to send you the link.
Yeah. So, I think the way it works, like you can watch us on YouTube in like another browser.
I'm done connect. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah. So I'll throw it in here. That's kind of what I do too. But because I'm the host, I can also share it from like the NX channel here. So
okay, cool.
Check it out from the cookbook. Let me actually throw it up while we're looking at it. So is this is for your course on Angular testing?
This is separate from the course. So I have my video course, which is here. So I can send it to you. And so this is my video course on Angular testing. Thank you.
Let's throw it up so people can see now.
Okay, so this is a cookbook, and in the Angular, so I have one about NX, and the other part is about Angular testing.
Yes. Cool.
And I just started working on it, so it's pretty new. And I'm focusing like on the testing strategy. So my take on testing is tests have different properties, and this is like one way to see it is like Kent Beck from Extreme Programming, like he wrote this test Desiderata thing, which are like, what are the properties we want from our tests? And you can't have all of them. Okay, so you can have tests that are fast, but also production symmetric, because and
they're
also
mutually exclusive. Like those two different dimensions you're trying to hit, right?
Exactly. For
sense.
example, end-to-end tests are amazing because like they're symmetric to production, for instance, but they could be slow. Sometimes you could hit some awkward things because they won't be reliable, because you will have I don't know, rate limiting or like network problems and stuff. And and also they're not precise. End-to-end tests are not precise, because if the button is disabled, why is it disabled?
Is it? Yes. You just get a big X, right? You just get a big red X. You don't see it failed because of this.
And then you can debug for 1 hour and then realize that it's coming from some other team, or it's really hard to debug. So
it's I get that. That's the criticism I usually get from my approach is like, yes, something failed, but it's hard to pinpoint what that is. And I'm usually like, I just check the logs. So like you should be able to figure out like it's if the button's disabled, like hopefully you know where that's coming from. But yeah, I get your point for
You
sure.
see, and plus you lose all the like I'm passionate about extreme programming and testing, and one of the practices of extreme programming is TDD, and so I write tests. I write tests first, and most of the time. So, and the cool thing is that you get like a quick feedback loop from your test. So while you're writing something, like sometimes I'm just brute forcing like the things. Like, is it filter? Is it negative or the opposite? I don't know. I'm gonna try one. Oh, the test is passing, so my condition is okay.
Yeah, that's I am 100% in that camp when I can. It's not always the case that it like makes sense to do this, but it's like I always feel so like I'm just spinning my wheels if I'm just programming just to program versus if I have a signal that's just like a red or a green light that said yes, this is working, or no, this is not, and then I can like at least then I have something I'm working towards, and a very concrete, a very discrete thing I'm working towards, and that makes things so much more productive, I think, at the end of the day. So is that what extreme programming is, or is I'm looking at the Wikipedia here. So
yeah. And so it's a I put like a really I have a definition in my in my cookbook.
Okay.
And it's in if you go to the Angular testing one, and you have like a glossary, and you should find extreme programming there.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay. So, XP is a software development methodology that hasn't sold its soul to the devil of certification-driven business models. I like where this is going. More seriously, XP is a lightweight software development methodology introduced by Kent back in the late 1990s. It helps teams switch their apprehensions from what if we miss something in the requirements or our understanding of the problem to what if we waste hours or days on something that does not provide any value to the user. Okay, that's cool. In other words, instead of trying to predict the future, XP embraces change, hence the subtitle of the book, Embrace Change. XP is based on communication simplicity.
Value.
Yeah.
But the key thing is, okay, you want to iterate fast, but in order to iterate fast, you need tests so that you can refactor your things and you
can
things, and
otherwise you're just programming in the dark. That's kind of where I end up. So I 100% agree. And you never know what you're breaking. You never know when you broke it, which both of those things are just like untenable. I don't think it's some of those things I think some people can hold in their heads. I can't. That's why I need to like take my RAM in my brain is just not that powerful. I need stuff like paper. I need stuff like tests so I could have like a way of offshoring that like to disk because memory is not so good right now.
Exactly. So that's exactly my take. Like it's a matter of cognitive load, and I can handle lots of cognitive load. So that's why I try to focus my tests on something that I can handle in my little brain. And and that's where I came up with the idea of like, instead of comparing units and integration, I have narrow tests and wide tests, no matter the tools that are using. And the definition of narrow, you can find it there. And
I figured this is what this was talking about. Narrow versus wide. There we go.
Yeah, and the three properties, you find them there. So you want them to be fast, so you can have like a quick feedback, and it has to be like easy to isolate and parallelize. And the most important one is low cognitive load. So this is very subjective, and it has to be defined by the team together. Like if someone joins the team in 6 months, can they work on this, or do they need like lots of knowledge about, if you make a change here, the engine of this thing might break, and there's also this compatibility thing that you have to think of, and but if your test is isolating something that is big enough so that your tests are not over specifying and coupled to like each class name and stuff, but also small enough so that it can fit in a brain.
Yeah. I feel like that's so much of what I do when I'm programming is deal with the limitations of me. So it's more managing that. Sometimes it's learning, but most of the times it's just managing my own inabilities. So
Yeah,
and like supplementing them to still get stuff done, I guess. So
exactly. And I think that's one of the dangers in software is overconfidence. Like I'm not very confident, so I make changes and I'm like, oh, I don't know, I need a test that tells me I'm okay, and the oracle next to me is like, yeah, it's good, go ahead.
yeah. We got a question here from the chat. Do
Oh,
you use ng mocks?
oh my god. No. So short
Okay.
answer, no. I'm planning to write something about it because it's really, really common question. It's like really crazy how many people ask me about that. So why no? Well, the first thing is that I think I don't know who the maintainers are exactly, but it's amazing. Like the work they've done, it's outstanding, and I think it's really good job. I think the tool is great. But on the other hand, I think the way I don't know if it's the way it works or the way it is named or the way it is or the way it's documented, it pushes people to go over narrow.
Yeah.
You know? So
No, I actually 100% agree. This is exactly what I was talking about too. Like not only with that spec file that was generated, it's like also just the core feature of Angular, especially when it came out, was dependency injection. And like why I don't like it's not entirely apparent to me, but like that was always a big thing. And it was always like, well, if you want to test it, now you can mock it out or you can provide your own implementations mainly for testing. I've never in actuality like used actual dependency injection in the application proper. It's always just I use dependency injection in the sense of sometimes I inject one component and other times I provide a different service that implements the same interface. I've never done that. I don't know
okay.
if people ever do, but the whole thing with being able to easily inject services into your components like that, the only advantage seems to be for these test suites. That was where there's always the spec file generated for you and the test bed and all those kinds of stuff. So
Yeah.
same thing. I'm not familiar with this model, but I have similar instincts as you for sure.
Yeah,
So,
but it goes even further because, like, one of the problems I feel there's in the way people use ngMox, not the way ngMox works, is like the idea of like, okay, I'm going to render a component, but then I'm going to mock all of its children. What does that mean? Like, does that mean like they're not gonna render anything? What if like you try to instance to get a reference of them and call a method on them? And what about like the worst thing is all the mocks that are just stubs that return undefined, and
yeah.
then your test fails and you're like, oh, what's happening? Why is it crashing here? And actually your code is fine. It's just because at some point you replaced some dependency, which is a component or a service, with a test double, which is a mock or a spy that returns undefined. And what should that return? Oh, I have to program it. But okay, so in the first time I call it, it has to respond with an empty array. Okay, why? And what about that other method? Oh, it has to return false because it is loading. Oh, and then when it returns true, oh, this should return an array. Oh, okay, and where do you program that? Oh, it's in the before each. You know, and that's where you're like, okay, I'm gonna stop testing right now. And the problem that you'll see is a lot of people who are using ngMox are like, oh, but wait, when I refactor, oh, I'm not saying about the problem is not ngMox again, is the pattern like of over replacing everything with test doubles. Is that each time you refactor something, it's gonna break, which means that your tests are over specifying. They are too coupled to implementation details. If you decide to split a component into 3 components, you shouldn't touch any tests. If you decide to merge 2 components, maybe you'll have to rethink your test so that you only have like the upper test, or maybe you already thought about it and your tests are still working. You have nothing to change. And like you can see it here, like for example, okay, here, this example, like mock instance, I'm replacing user service save, returning like a spy, and what does that return? And it's, I don't know, it's gonna crash at some point, or is it returning undefined? And you know,
I'm not giving this an honest read. I was just kind of going through it real quick. I think this is like the starting point, and this is like the same world but using ngMox, which I don't know, the idea of using mocks in general I stiffen up with that because it often leads to, in my opinion, really brittle tests that are going to change. That are going to break as soon as you make changes. That
Exactly.
shouldn't break when you make changes.
Exactly. And it should like oh, Emily, that's
Yeah.
a really good question. So this is
I'll leave it up for a
well,
second.
it depends. It depends on how what do you mean about to be able to test ng init? I guess it's ng on init hook, but is it like, are they like spying the ng on init hook, or I don't know exactly what's happening there, but the thing is that when you're testing your component, you shouldn't even care about ng on init. Are you using after render or ng on init? Doesn't matter. You're rendering the component, you're providing whatever it needs, and then you're just checking the DOM and interacting with the DOM. And that's the thing. And in it, I don't know if it's there or not. And that's the thing that we have to rethink in our testing strategies. Oh, testing the contents of the hook. Oh, the contents, like the properties it sets and stuff like that, or whatever the engine in it is doing.
It sounds like it, yeah.
So in that case, no. I think that's like, if you have like, if engine in it has like some crazy logic and stuff, then maybe that should be moved to a service where that you can test in isolation.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you shouldn't like just rendering.
This is where I just come back to, like, you shouldn't know about like any Angular internals, or like assume this is built in React. You should worry. In my opinion, the testing should be completely independent of the developer concerns. It should be like, what is the interface the user or the consumer of this code is handling. And in the front end, the consumer of this code is almost always the user. And so that user, what is the interface they're interacting with? It's the DOM. So that's what I always think you should be interacting with. And like a virtual DOM, sure, that's fine. An emulated DOM, I think that's like okay, especially if you're going for like this kind of fast approach. I think virtual, probably goes faster, so that kind of makes sense. So
yeah, and again, like at some point, like if you want to zoom in, like that's the thing of narrow test. Like if I have like 13 components and 30 services, at some point you have to zoom in. Well, the points where you have to zoom, where you want to zoom with, is like, you want to cut the borders, is you will have to replace that with test doubles, but you have to know exactly where you're going to do that. And the idea is, like, for example, if I have a service and this service is doing crazy things, it's like doing some computation, grabbing stuff from the network and stuff, but the contract is clear. It's called repository, and it has a search method. I give it keywords, it returns a list of items. And so if that exists, then you have to implement like a fake implementation. And that, hence, like one of my recent talks that I've been giving all around is fake it till you mock it, which means like you shouldn't use jest.spy or vitest. Or jest.fn or Jasmine create spy and all these spies or ng mocks and stuff. Is that you have a real fake implementation, which is just a class that does everything in memory or whatever, and you can reuse it wherever you want in your test, but it has the exact same behavior as the real implementation.
Yeah, we have another comment on ngbox here. I think it makes things easier, but it's true though that for every change, just looking at the library, I don't think it's like, like I said, or like you were saying, I don't think it does anything bad. I think for the most part, what it's doing is taking a lot of the tedium that comes with like setting up a test bed in Angular, and like takes a lot of the hard stuff away from that, which if you're going to go down that route, it's a library that does that is totally valuable, just because I know I spent so much time on setting those things up just to get it to work properly. So if you're going down that way, it's a nice thing to have. Shai's in the chat.
Yeah,
perfect. Talking
about
my
testing.
Nice. Hey, Shai. All right. We need to recenter, because it's great talking about tests, but we're here to talk about Angular and Vite. What are you doing there? Honestly.
Nothing. I'm just plugging cables,
Nice.
plugging cables between NX and analog and whatever Brandon did.
Yes, cool.
So that's my job.
Brandon's in the chat, lurking. It looks like, and he was here before we even started. So yeah, nice to see you too, Sean.
Is watching.
And shout out to Edward
Edouard.
and Isma here with a question too.
Ooh.
SWC for Angular Vitest. I think that's for you, I'm sure. But
so yeah, it's good question. So we're trying to keep it up to date. So, but it's more of a short-term solution. I don't think it should be like a long-term solution for one reason. So what it does is that actually it just does the most minimalistic transformations for Angular to work in JIT with just-in-time. The thing is that until like input signals and features like that happened, Angular would work without any transformation if you had like the JIT compiler, because there was nothing that would transform in the code except in the template. But since we have signal inputs, and of course there's template URL and styles URL, but now that we have signal inputs and output functions and stuff, we need some transformations. We need to transform that somehow to that so that it still works with the JIT. And this plugin does that. And right now, all the tooling, all the testing tools work with JIT, but only with Vitest right now we can use AOT, and it's going to happen soon with Karma and the official experimental Jest support for Angular. And we can talk about JIT and AOT later if you want, but I think the future is in AOT. Okay. And we have to drop JIT at some point. And so the SWC plugin, we will try to maintain it as much as we can, as long as we can, as long as JIT is still possible. But at some point, I think JIT is going to hit a dead end at some point.
yeah, maybe help me get caught up with some Angular stuff, Younes.
Yeah.
So AOT, is AOT Ivy? The Ivy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. So
and JIT is like before worlds. Has everyone gone over to AOT at this point, or that's kind of the context I'm looking for, I guess.
Oh, okay. So even before Ivy, there was AOT. So you had template that transformed a little bit. And right now, all applications are using AOT, except if you're doing something weird. But everything is using AOT, because that's how you get all the not only the performance, but also all the features like the defer blocks and stuff. So that
So AOT and JIT, these are common things. So one is just in time, the other's ahead of time. Exactly. How does that, and this is phrases that apply to the Angular compilation step. Is that correct?
Yeah, okay. Exactly. So exactly. So right now, even when you're working locally, you're using AOT. And the only exception where people are using JIT, and all of us are using JIT, is for testing, which is not great.
Cool. Yeah. So when I worked in Angular, I'm a former Angular expert. No longer. I've been kicked out of the program. But like that whole piece of things was something that was like more nebulous to me. Like I always knew, okay, when you hit build and like when you're running serve, like when you're running serve, you're running a continuous build of your thing. Every time you make a change, it's going to update the stuff. I never really understood like where JIT and AOT happened, other than it was in that black box that's like what's happening when I go from my code that I'm writing in my IDE to what's getting put on the web server that's being served up, or like what's happening when you put out into your artifact when it goes out. Is it that when you're serving, like the ahead of time is going ahead and like compiling everything, and then just in time is just when, as soon as you make the save, it's going to redo everything? Or
the just-in-time will be transforming your template in the browser.
Okay.
So you're really sending the template as a string to the browser.
That makes perfect sense.
which is amazing for testing because you can mess around with your template.
Yeah. So just in time, it's literally getting like compiled inside of the browser's runtime versus ahead of time, compiling it inside of the build step so that we don't have to do that during the runtime. Okay, makes perfect sense. Got it.
Exactly. And and it has like it has lots of impact on like if tomorrow and that's what we'll do later if you want, we can enable AOT for testing. And
cool.
And the interesting thing that we'll see is that some things like ngmux might not work. Like we will not be able to do shallow test and override the child components, and also the problem with this is that you have to run the compiler in the browser, which makes also the tests a little bit slower, tiny little bit slower. So SWC, it's a paradox because it's a Rust compiler, but actually it's just doing the minimum of the transformation so that JIT can work. But the future is AOT because, for instance, if someday we have the selectorless components, which is one of the plans of the Angular team, is that you will no longer have to fill the components in the imports array. So you just use the component's name as an HTML tag, and that during the compilation, this will add the import and stuff.
Oh, cool. That's neat.
It's not JSX.
I wish, I really wish I could just have Angular with JSX, honestly, but it is what it is. I really like JSX for templating. The Angular stuff is fine. It's just, it's so domain specific. I wish it was more JSX-y, I guess. So yeah. Anyways, Nemuel, hey, welcome. So Younes, what can we do to show off like some of the work that you've been doing for Vite? Should we make a new project? Should we?
Yeah, let's make a new project.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead. Let me share my screen again. Yeah. And you're just going to have to drive me because I don't really know what I'm doing, but I trust you.
Me neither. So let's see what happens.
Cool. All right. Let me bring over terminal here. I don't know what I was doing before.
So first, what's your favorite package manager you're using? PNPM? PNPM. Perfect. So PNPM, and you create an NX workspace. So wherever you want.
Is it PNPX for?
I don't know. I think
I learned this with James on one.
Okay. Or you can use what I do is PNPM space create space NX workspace. But yeah, it should work.
Create and then a space.
Yeah. And actually,
what I had been doing is just doing MPX and then doing this option right there, the dash PM. But I want to try this way now.
And actually, it's just a shortcut because this actually created. But I don't want you to use latest. I want you to use next.
Oh, okay. Let's get away from here.
Yeah.
Next. Cool.
Yeah.
Any preset? Anything else we want to do here?
Yeah, maybe apps. Just like the apps preset.
Preset equals apps. Cool. Everything else look good?
Yeah, perfect.
There we go.
And give it
what do we like to create? What do we call it? Younes.
Yeah.
Cooking time.
Like Younes
Sound
turkey. Good.
GitHub Actions, sure. Oh, the RC just came out. Yeah, we're working on 20.3. So
yeah, and the thing is that we like I've added this PR that allows the Vitest configuration to enable Vitest on any existing project, so it can migrate progressively.
Cool. Oops.
So first thing, why did I make you create apps preset instead of like an Angular preset?
Yeah, why did you?
Why? Because we still didn't add the test runner option during the generation of the Angular app. So it would have created the app with Jest. And here I want to be like in an NX workspace and without any default set or whatever, so that start really from scratch. But
yeah, we've got nothing here right now. We just got a few dev dependencies. It's just like the most basic ones and nothing else. So yeah, cool.
And now what you could do is let's add. Let's do something like let's add the NX Angular plugin. So just run NX add NX Angular.
Cool. Anything else while we're here, or just
no, that's it. It should
Okay.
pick the next one. Yeah, it did.
Yep.
Ooh.
Nice.
Perfect, Chaw.
Very timely. Okay, we're in.
Okay, good. So this is perfect. And now you could just create a new app. Oh, yeah.
Oops. Yeah. Would help if I could type. It's all right. Do you want to do like the typical apps?
Yeah, it doesn't matter, as you wish.
What's the name of our app? To be honest, that's a big
the,
question.
Oh, it's. Oh my god, I'm so not creative today.
See you, Jow. Do you want to just call it Turkey?
No, let's call it Turkey.
Any opinions?
Yeah, CSS is good.
Okay.
That's the future.
Okay.
And so here's the new thing. So now you have the Vitest option.
You want to go with that?
Yeah, let's go with that. And that's it.
None.
And
what ES build?
Yeah.
Okay.
No. Perfect.
Is that going to do analog if we hit yes there?
Sorry?
Is it? Are we going to go for analog if we?
No. It's still going to be the Angular SSR. Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. It's
just
the old
Angular's
stuff.
own SSR. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Brandon didn't hack the generator yet.
they need to just put analog in there.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It's not there. Yeah. And so let's see what happened. So first we have an app, and so the new thing, if you go at the bottom, see the workspace files above the app. So we have the Vite workspace configuration just at the bottom. If you,
I see.
So here you have like the Vitest workspace for all your workspace. It's going to grab all the Vitest configurations. We have also the what we have. The NX JSON has changed because it might have enabled the Vitest plugin.
There it is.
Vite. That's good. And at the bottom. Oh no, it didn't add the plugin. That's surprising.
Yeah, I don't see it. It's interesting.
Okay, that's weird. Anyway, and oh yeah, maybe we didn't enable it first. Oh, anyway, it's okay. And now, and if you go to the application, we can see that we have the Vite config here with the test set up, and we're
not using it for our builds right just yet.
No,
we're using. I believe we set it to do like the ES builds. Where would we see that here?
So this is the Angular builder, because you see that we chose the ESLint because it's called application. It's the build Angular application. So that's the new ES build.
Okay. We're not using Webpack. What would it have said?
Browser, I think. Maybe someone could help. I think was named browser, maybe. It had like another name.
It looks like Brandon's got a plan in place. So that's do you have a mustache now, Brandon? That'd be cool. Anyway, sorry.
It is plans. There's a lot of plans. And the test target. So if it didn't enable the plugin, so we might have a test target at the bottom.
Let's see. Yes, we do.
Yeah.
So we're not using the inference the plugins.
Yeah, I don't know why it didn't enable the inference. It should have, but anyway, it's okay.
Yeah. Cool.
It happens.
And
now the other thing which is interesting is if we go back to the Vite config, which is only used for the tests.
Right.
Well, it enabled an Angular plugin, and if you look at the imports, we can see where it comes from, and it comes from analog.
Woo.
Got it.
Thank you, Brandon.
Brandon's getting there, and so we have the analog plugin there, but actually it's not related to analog at all. Okay, it's just it transforms analog too if it meets analog, but it works for Angular.
Can we just take a step back? Brandon's in the chat, but can we
Yep.
talk about what analog is, for in case there's someone watching who doesn't know?
Oh, what if we bring Brandon in?
Brandon, if you want to come in, I don't know, ping me somewhere and I'll send you the link.
So the way I see
I
analog,
want to put pressure on Brandon to come in.
So the way I see analog is I say like so it's a meta framework for Angular. The way I say it is just like you can see Remix or Next for React. So it's gonna for instance, instead of having all the routing configured in a file where you just have to read your project structure, because the routing is defined by your file structure, for example. It's using Nitro, I guess, under the hood. It's not right. And so it's, for me, it's really like using Angular as like the building block to enable like additional features, like transforming Markdown, and like maybe in the future be able to do something like Dockersaurus does for React and stuff like that. So this is the way I see it, but it might be wrong. Maybe there's another path for that. Plus, it has like different authoring format if you want, and stuff like that. So that's that's the way I see it. But again, I'm not an analog expert yet. Dive deeper into that.
So analog is like a framework built on top of Angular, specifically to be built on top of Angular. And and like Brandon just said, one of the big features is you can use Vite for building. So that's really cool. So what I imagine, like the broad brushstroke of what you're going to take me through here is we are going to use Vite to build an Angular app that's not necessarily an analog app, but we are using analog utilities, I guess, specifically like right here to make that work. Is that correct or no?
Almost. We're not going to use it to build an app. So the app is it's by the way, the Angular builder is using Vite under the hood. So
it is.
So for when you're using the dev server, it's using the Vite dev server.
Oh, neat.
But when you're building the app, you're not using Vite. That's how it works. But but because the Angular build is so complex. But the interesting thing is that it's really, really hard to when you want to integrate Angular with other tooling like Vitest or Playwright component testing or whatever tools happen in the future, or Storybook, and you have to hook into the Angular build because you have components there that the developer gives you and you want to transform them. Well, it's tricky, and there's no official Vite plugin to transform Angular components, and that's where Analog and Brandon did this amazing work of providing this plugin with just the right options we need, and we just enable this plugin, and I have my Analog plugin transform my Angular plugin there that will transform the code.
Awesome.
And the other option is to use the SWC plugin that we've made, but that SWC plugin is pretty fast because it's using SWC. But on the other hand, it's using JIT, so it we're not going to implement AOT. We're not going to transform Angular components because that would mean rewriting whatever the whole Angular framework team is doing in Rust with SWC. So and that wouldn't be the right path anyway. It would be like maybe if we wanted to have AOT with Rust or Go or wherever, we might not use SWC anyway. So, but it's SWC is meant for JIT.
Gotcha. Okay, so SWC goes for JIT, and that's unfortunate because almost everyone's going to build in AOT mode. So you'll be testing something that's not what you're actually shipping.
Exactly. So we should test with AOT because we could have like some difference behavior between JIT and AOT. Yeah.
Gotcha. Cool. Makes sense.
And okay, so now we have this plugin doing the transforms and so on. And now if you go to your, I don't know, like to the component, to the SRC, and you have like an
app component
spec, and you have the amp component spec.
Gotcha.
Well, you see, it's creating the component and like checking something in the DOM. And now you can run nx test -- watch, and we can just watch this test running. We didn't set the default name. Yeah, you have to type turkey.
Where's my cursor at? Am I crazy? I don't know what happened to it. I'm sorry.
Well,
but we're just going to remember where it is.
Who ate the cursor?
Oh.
Okay, so here you have your tests passing, and you can already see some interesting things here. Well, it's not using Vitest 2 because for some reason we're still not using Vitest 2 in NX. I think that's will happen in the migration, but if you upgrade to Vitest 2, it's going to work. And so we can see that an interesting thing here is that we can see all the faces, and you can see what takes most time. Is it transforming the code or whatever? And also, if you I don't know, like change the components just to see, I don't know, like, and can you keep the terminal appearing so that we can see how fast the watch?
Yes. It's hard when you're streaming just because we're size like
just like this is good. Just like replay.
Get a little smaller.
Yeah.
So if we made it like turkey or just
and
we'll hit a save.
And it's, I don't know at what moment you hit save, but it's really, really fast. You can see that in the watch mode. It's pretty fast because there's
duration,
less things happening under the hood than Jest, because we're using the whole thing that the whole features that Vite has with pre-bundling and stuff. So that's pretty interesting. But now let's get back to our. Can you just fix the test again?
Yeah,
just as it was. Okay, and now you can Control C, and you can run the same test and -UI. -- watch and -UI, I think.
Okay.
That's because NX disables watch by default. Like by default, the watch is false, and we have to enable it.
I see.
Otherwise, the UI just pops up, and this should have opened the window. Yeah,
it was on my other screen.
Okay,
but it opened.
It's open, perfect. And here we can see the test, and interestingly, we can see the you can even change the code there, and you can see the module graph, which I find,
I've never used the UI view for Vitest. This is interesting.
And one of the interesting things is actually the module graph.
Let's take a look. Ooh,
and this is interesting because actually I use it mainly to see how many files there are there. And that tells you that maybe your test is loading too many things and you have to redesign it some other way, so that, because that's what can also slow down your tests, is how many files are loaded, not even transformed, just loading them can slow down your tests. Okay, so you have this, and this is interesting. But now, what if we look at the code coverage, for example? And let's you have to stop everything, Control C, and let's add coverage there. It's just coverage, coverage.
Okay. Yeah. Like so.
Yep.
Throw it up over here.
And here you can see the coverage. It's the icon on top. It's the second one on the left.
Coverage. Cool.
Yeah. And let's open up app component.ts. It didn't include the HTML files. We could configure that, but let's just inline the templates right now so that we don't touch the configuration that much. So if you go back to the code, and I don't know,
this is one of the things I liked about Angular was actually keeping the template in a different
change. You can configure it. We just have to include the HTML files in the configuration. But
let's just do it your way, because
it's going to be easier to see it, so that we can see the TypeScript in the same time in the coverage, and maybe we can change the NX welcome component so that we can override the. But wait a second, where's the title? I don't understand. Oh, the title. What?
I actually don't know. I think.
Okay.
I think it actually. Wait, I don't know. This is the right
what
one,
did the
right?
test do actually? How?
I know, because we saw that fail.
Yeah,
I changed the title.
you broke the test.
What is going on?
And the what is this test checking?
Test checked. Oh, I bet it tests just the component.
Is it checking? No, it's really
No, it's not.
Oh, okay. We only broke the second test, which is like really bad test to do, by the way.
Yeah. Okay. So we would have expected it to break 2, but because I think the way it works now is if you just look into here, we'll probably find Welcome Turkey hard.
Oh, this is inline. Okay, perfect.
Yes,
so let's try. Let's okay. This one is inlined. Oh, can you go back to the coverage? So this is the component we want.
Yes. So we want to go to coverage.
If you rerun it again, and if you and if you go back, the coverage is on top left. And NX welcome. Oh, okay, perfect. And here, it says the template is covered. Okay, so
let's template.
It's pretty big. So let's see if it's true. Let's change the template.
Okay.
Let's go back to the code.
And
now let's replace. Let's just add an if condition at the top.
Okay.
So that we can see it, and you can say like I don't know, like if it's if.
I've been used to ngif.
Yeah, it changed.
This is new.
This is the new. So if false, and like just let's put some title there or whatever. It's curly braces. And it's curly braces, and you can open them and you can close them the line afterwards.
Okay.
I like this. And then here you can just put whatever HTML you want in between. Now, Oh, thank you.
How's that for HTML?
It's good. So let's go back to the coverage and see how it goes.
Cool. I think I killed the window, so I'm just gonna restart it.
Let's start it.
Go.
Okay, so if you go back to the coverage thing, it still says 100%, everything is great. But now
where's my if statement? Okay, wait, it's still here.
It's still
okay.
So it thinks it's covered. So of course, because it's just seeing that there's a string loaded there because this is not transformed into JavaScript instructions anyway, so the coverage can't work. So now let's see if we can make the coverage work.
So we just ideally this would not be covered because we didn't test this case.
Yeah,
we didn't
exactly.
Go down this
we
path.
Should see that is not covered. So if we go back to the test, to the Vite configuration. Sorry, to the Vite config.
Cool.
And here we can so instead of V8, can you put Istanbul? Is it? Yeah, exactly. There's an extra I. Yeah, perfect, because it doesn't work with V8 for some reason. And if you go up and in the Angular plugin, if you pass as an option, because there's an object there of options, and you pass JIT false. Okay, we're telling it to use AOT, so the template will be transformed to JavaScript instructions.
And
the coverage.
I thought it was doing something there. Sorry.
Oh,
I don't know what's happening to it now.
Oh, you have to restart the test probably because we changed the whole thing.
Okay.
And maybe it just crashed.
It looks like it crashed. Yeah.
Because it was using V8. Okay, that's the V8 problem. Well, let's see how it goes. Maybe we have to just upgrade to Vitest. Oh no, I know what's happening. Yeah, it needs to install the plugin.
Oh, and it'll ask us if we want to. That's very nice.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. Vitest has a lot of like this nice experience thing. So let's try again. What happened?
So doesn't like it. This is not initialized.
Oh, okay. I think we have to upgrade to Vitest too.
Okay.
So you just go to the package.json and upgrade everything which has Vitest in it to 2 point something. Oh, okay. I see. You see what happened? It's actually installed a newer version of Istanbul, so it's not compatible.
Gotcha.
So it didn't pick the right. So maybe let's just upgrade Vitest UI because I want to show you also some Vitest 2 features that are pretty nice.
Gotcha. How do you do it where, okay, there it goes.
Yeah, this should work. And Vitest.
Do we need this one too?
Yeah, you can, but we're not going to use it just in case. And Vitest also, just Vitest, yeah, at the bottom. Yeah, it's
cool.
good.
I think that's all of them, right? Oh, what was this one?
No, this is good.
Probably fine, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Let's try one more time. Oh, wait, I need to
yeah.
Sorry.
Perfect.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
Issues found, but those are safe to ignore usually. All right, here we go.
Perfect.
Is this what we expected?
Let's see. So you can did it okay, so can you open the coverage? So it's the tests are present,
yes.
so that's good. Oh,
this looks good. Yes.
And we got.
Why did we test this one 4 times?
Because the component was rendered because 4 times because the change detection goes twice, and we rendered the components twice.
So before we just said 1 for all of this because we were just reading in the template once.
Yeah.
Now this is more accurate. It's
yeah,
like this is actually
okay. But again, this is. I want to show this just to show that AOT is promising and this is interesting and that Analog is doing a great job and Vitest allows us to have this, you see, like in a few minutes. But again, I want to warn people like code coverage is an interesting indicator so that you're like, oh, how come we don't test this? But it should not be a goal. Like all this, like, oh, let's aim for this kind of code coverage and whatever, because you can have like 100% code coverage of crappy tests, you know.
Yes.
And so it's a really bad metric because it's an easy metric and it's a quantitative metric, but yeah.
Well, I think it's one of those things that encourages bad practices too. Like you're going to go after like the wrong things, I think, at the end of the day. Yeah. So it is, I think it is a helpful metric just in terms of like this is interesting for sure.
Yeah.
Just to see, like, especially down probably after we get out of the template.
Yeah.
Well, I guess there's nothing but the template in this component, but
yeah,
we'll go back.
Yeah.
How do I go back in the coverage? Is that okay?
No clue. Yeah, you click out everywhere.
But like if there's something in here and you're like, oh, this one method is just like completely unused, you'd be like, yeah, something either we could get rid of it or like maybe that we do need a test case, not to test that specific branch for the sake of testing that branch, but what is the user's like, what is the use case for this that would actually go around and exercise it?
And do you want to test it, or is it something you're like, hey, even if it doesn't work, I don't mind. It's just like a page that nobody uses. I don't know. And And one last thing about this is just like one of the examples that I always give about like careful with code coverage is, for example, imagine like this page that shows the result, but also shows the error message and also shows the loading spinner. What if this page loads the 3 of them at the same time? This is a bug, but it's 100% coverage.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, Edouard. Yeah. Yeah. It's actually what happened. It's pretty amazing. It's so Angular parses the templates, okay, and it creates a source map for each token in the template, and like they really create the source map from the template, and then it goes through all the transformation of the build pipeline of Angular. So that's how the source map can find out, because if we analyze the transformed code, you'll see like instructions with real if conditions that render that piece of template or not. You will have something here that says advanced to like next to elements in the DOM and write this, and an if condition to that writes, you know, and that's how this works. And for some reason, it doesn't work with V8, which is like the native code coverage, and that would be nice if that could work, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
And now that you're using Vitest 2, let me show you just 1 or 2 features there are so many features, but let me show you just 1 or 2 that are pretty nice. Sure. So one of them, if you go back to the code, is if you go back to the test, like the app component spec TS.
Yeah, let's spec.
There you go. Here, there are some pretty nice things. Like do you know this test where sometimes you make like different assertions in the same test, which is okay? And I don't know, like for example, let's take the 25. Yeah, let's say
Like
that,
that.
or here, yeah, for example, and you do, yeah, let's say you're doing both assertions here, or you're testing two things in the DOM. It is very annoying when the test fails at line 18 and you
Yeah.
have no clue what's happening at line 21.
Yeah. Because as soon as we hit a failed expectation, we stop. We don't
Yeah.
keep going. Right.
Well, now you can select like both expect, and at the end you can add expect that soft, which is something
Oh.
that playwright users are familiar with. So you just do expect that soft. No, in the expect. It's actually a method of the expect
I see.
function. So expect that soft.
Is that right?
Yeah, perfect. And you
Cool.
do it the same for the second one.
Well, that one can be hard probably because it's the last one. But I don't know. Is that how it works?
Sorry, what?
Because this is the last line of the test, I
Yeah.
imagine we don't need soft isn't doing much.
Oh, look, yeah,
right?
but yeah, oh yeah, you don't have to. Yeah, that's true. But I
But
just do it because
just
it's
turn them all to soft, I guess
yeah,
maybe is what you're trying
and
to demonstrate.
yeah,
That's
and if you break both of them, look, just let's break both of them.
okay. So
Yeah. Oh, careful because it's to contain.
oh yeah. There we go. That should break it.
That and now you can let's run the test and see how it goes. Yeah.
Well, it looks like it's having a hard time, but
Something went wrong. Oh, wow. Oh, it's totally crashing. Go back.
yeah.
You have like an error message up?
Let's see.
Okay. Well, I don't know what happened, but you have this error for the second one, and you also have if you go up again, you have the errors for both of them.
Yeah.
And this is pretty interesting, especially when you start using like IDE plugins. Like for example, I use Wallaby.js, which is like a plugin for IDEs for testing, and you have like the error next to the expect. It helps you really investigate pretty easily. So
That's cool.
this is one of the things. And one other quick one, just to show you how these are just random examples of like the tiny little optimizations in the API that are pretty nice that you don't have in Jest and stuff, or you need extra tooling for that. Is
Right.
for example, let's just add let's empty this test. Like for example, let's just pick this one and replace it with, I don't know, like a yeah. Okay, perfect. And let's add like, I don't know, set timeout. Okay.
Okay.
And you set timeout and you call the function and you set a variable here that you declare a line above or something.
Okay.
Yeah, let and yeah.
10 seconds or
Oh no. I mean like a variable that you set in the set timeout, like, or you
oh,
increment.
I see.
Like let's whatever, and we increment it afterwards.
All right,
Yeah.
let's just call it X.
Yeah, perfect. And here you just increment it. And let's take like it's just 20 milliseconds or whatever, And here it's annoying because, okay, you want to make the assertion. Okay, let's do that. Expect X to be 1, and the test will fail. Okay.
Yeah.
And maybe for something like this, you don't want to run like a fake timer and start advancing it because there's a timer there because there's some rendering or whatever library you're using there that's scheduling things. This is what Angular does, for example. Like it triggers change detection with a race between request animation frame and set timeout. So what you could do is go back to your test, just to do expect.poll, like
poll?
polling. Yeah. Oh.
Do I not have the right one?
Did you import? Oh yeah, it's the good one. Can you make sure that you're importing expect from Vitest, because here it's using just the global expect. So if you it's not using the right one.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's weird. Why is that?
Can you show the package JSON?
Sure.
It's Vitest. We've changed it, right? And the last one, yeah. Okay, no matter. It doesn't matter. If you go back to the test, we can. It's just because it's using the global, so I don't know why it's not. They're using the right one. So if you import expect from Vitest, it's gonna work. So, okay, good. From Vitest.
Wrong one. Sorry.
Oh.
Vitest. Vitest.
Yeah.
There we go.
Good. And
still doesn't like it.
Okay, weird. Well, let's see. Maybe it's just a TypeScript it's just a TypeScript problem. So maybe just can you call? So it's expecting instead of x, it's expecting a function that returns x. So you just pass an arrow function that returns x. Okay, and let's see if it works. And
so for polling, is there a way to like give it a parameter for how often to poll?
Yeah. It's an option that you can. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Oh, sorry. You have to await for it.
Okay.
Of course. Yeah. You have to wait. So you have to make the test async.
Yes. Okay. So.
No, it's the function. Yeah. Right. Good. And this, I don't know why. Oh, maybe you just have to restart the TS server or something. Or it's okay. This should work.
Do we have to go like this? Or
no, you have to expect. You await the to be. This is
interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. This is what's cool.
Let me go ahead and try restarting the TypeScript server, see if that helps us out. Yes, it did. Actually.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe we needed to restart after installing the new stuff.
This feels like Windows types. Cool.
Yeah. So for polling, can we do like options?
Exactly.
Okay.
And you guessed it. And this is an interesting thing. It means the API is intuitive, and you can do this. So
so if we say like 10 and like give it a timeout of 19.
Yeah, exactly.
Will we still fail? I'm curious. Is this would be okay, cool.
Perfect.
Are they using some sort of virtual timer for that?
No, it's using the real timer.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Because usually I thought like frames wouldn't be able, like 1 millisecond is really hard to catch.
Oh, I think it's random.
Okay.
I think it's random.
Okay, gotcha.
So this is one of the things. So of course, I'm just showing this. This shouldn't be like the main way of testing because it's fragile, but sometimes it's very interesting when you're like testing something especially when you're doing like a integration test or white testing.
I had no idea about this, but I can definitely see this being helpful for a lot of stuff.
And you have other things like v.wait for and stuff like that. And now
what's v.wait for?
v.wait for is basically the same thing. So just do await and v.wait for vi like Vitest, and you have to import it from v, or it's global by default. v.wait for, and here you have an arrow function.
So this is like a predicate, anything,
and you do whatever you want here. You make assertions and whatever, and it's gonna try that until it passes. And here you can make expect x to be to equal. You make really assertions there. Yeah. No, you really do expect x to be.
Expect
to be 1. Yeah.
Oh.
To be 1, for example.
I see.
And it's gonna try until.
What's the difference between this and poll?
I think wait for a poll happened afterwards.
Okay.
There might be some slight differences. I have to check that again. I think there's some subtle difference. There's another one again, and I don't remember. But yeah, there are different APIs there, so it's pretty cool.
So VI is for Vitest utils.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure I haven't looked at all of these, but a lot of these look very similar to Jest kind of stuff.
Yeah, and that's the interesting thing with this whole story is that it all starts with Jasmine, which had a really nice API. Then Jest was initially created on top of Jasmine. Then they swallowed the API, so it was compatible. So Jest was the natural path from Jasmine. Yeah. Then Vitest did the same thing with Jest, so it's just a natural path. And Vitest has more additional APIs, and that's the cool thing. There might be
one like really frustrating thing. I've done the migration from like Jest to Vitest before, and one of the frustrating things is like the generics are flipped. Like, have you seen that before?
Yeah, the opposite way around. Yeah.
I was like, oh, just handle it. Just get on the same page, guys. Come on.
Yeah. That's
Like,
the horrible one.
Yeah.
I like the way Vitest does it though, but yeah, it's frustrating. If you have like Vite spy generics, then yeah,
exactly.
the opposite way around. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you have, if we still have like 10 or 15 minutes,
We got it.
we got it.
Are we doing what you mentioned?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. All right, you
That's gonna be
explain
fun.
what we're doing. I'm gonna pull it
Is,
up.
is Brandon there?
He's probably gone.
Is someone
Right.
from the NGRX team there? So we're gonna clone.
Where is their main repo these days?
It's NGRX platform. I think it's GitHub/NGRX platform. Oh, I didn't see Isma's question or observation. Yeah. Oh, Brandon is here. Okay, so let's try and do it.
Is it dash platform?
That slash platform. It's I think the organization is NGRX.
Is it at?
Yeah, got it. So,
okay,
yeah.
cool.
So let's clone this. And now, you have to. I hope you have yarn 1.
I don't. I think I have like yarn 5 or 4 or whatever.
Yeah, you have Volta or NVM.
Yes, I do.
Okay, perfect. So,
did not go in the
platform.
Oh,
good.
Cool.
Yeah, let's do this. Brandon is always watching. It's like, what the hell? So, no, stop. Because if it's running VR4, it's gonna crash.
Oh shoot! All right,
yeah,
kill it.
Yeah, let's kill it. And yeah, if you have Volta, you said.
Yes. How do I? I don't really. I use Volta. I don't really know how to configure it. Is there like I drop a Volta?
Me neither. But the way I use it here is just like go Volta pin, and I pin whatever version to this package JSON on the repo. So I'm like yarn at 1,
like that.
Okay, and it pins. Oh, you have to pin also. You can add the same command and space node 22 or whatever.
Oh, I see.
I think node 22. Node 22 should work. Yeah, and okay,
cool. We can yarn.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. Yeah.
Cool.
But it was promising. I really believed in plug and play. I really believed in it. But yeah, didn't work. Like the idea of like not having node modules and it just works. This was like wow. But
yeah, I'm downloading the world right now, so you're coming in a little choppy. I hope it's all right for the stream.
Are there any questions there? So I can fill the time.
Yeah.
So,
well, Brandon's scared, and that character is Oglethorpe. Welcome. That's from Aqua Team Hunger Force. I know that reference. So
wow.
Are you familiar?
Not at all. What's that?
I don't know. I watched it in college. It's like Adult Swim kind of non sequitur kind of humor.
Okay, cool.
It's fun. I think he's like an alien and they're trying to blow up Earth or something, but he has a Swedish accent. Random stuff I know. Yeah,
wow.
Yes. Cool. Still okay. What are we doing now? Is this where it's like?
Oh, wow, it's still downloading. Yeah,
it's not. I think it's whatever linking. Right now.
But I think it's good. I think we're up. Yes, we're there.
Cool.
And now,
so
yes.
Introduce what we're trying to do. This is what we should have done.
Okay, now
we're talking about aliens.
Now you're having the repo. Now let's reassure Brandon. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna if you go to like is it project? No. Yeah, in projects we have an example app which is tested. By the way, it's just really nice to have like tested examples, but it's using Jest. So what we're gonna do is that we're going to migrate this example app from Jest to Vitest. And we're going to see if we can do this in not that long.
Nice. So right now I'm running just test on the
Yeah.
example app. So this is running Jest. Cool.
Exactly.
So we're gonna migrate this
To Vitest.
in 10 minutes, in 5 minutes,
15.
15. Okay. Start the timer.
I don't know. I didn't measure the time it takes. So let's
give it a.
Okay, good.
We're gonna keep ourselves honest here.
Yeah, let's do this. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Go back to VS Code.
All right.
And run NX. We have to migrate to 20.3.0. So NX migrate next. Yeah. The bleeding edge here.
20.3 should be coming out before Christmas. This was what I was promised yesterday by Jason on the record, on a live stream. So
perfect. So everyone can cancel the Christmas dinner and migrate to Vitest.
Yeah. Who needs a Christmas dinner? What do you got? NX.
What are your plans on migrating? And now we can run the migrations. Maybe. Oh yeah, you have to install and then just.
I think if we do this, it'll run it for us. But I always throw it in there.
Yeah, me too. Well, it says you should do it, so.
Yeah, I know. I think we're looking at some ways of making that a little better, because I've seen so many people who just do NX migrate latest and then they leave like the migrations JSON there, and they like we don't actually run it.
Wow, so. This is interesting. But while it's installing, if I might digress, how different is it?
Storybook testing is interesting. I'm very bullish on the idea, especially if you're already using Storybook. But in my opinion, I prefer to just go Playwright if you're gonna go, like running that stuff. But
I think really we should. So we should have like another session someday on Playwright component testing, because the DX it offers is just crazy. For it's exactly the Playwright experience, but with just one component. It's amazing. But the thing about Storybook that for me is like a little bit problematic is the first thing is that you might not want to write a story for each component. So you want to test things that are not in the anyway.
I'm thinking, guys.
Okay. So we'll talk about it. So yeah, it's interesting, but I don't think it should be like the primary testing strategy. Okay, we got it. So now what you're gonna do is NX add NX Vite.
NX Vite.
You pronounce it better than me, and it's French. It's Vite. Yeah, it's Vite.
My mom actually grew up in France.
No way.
Yeah, she tried to teach me, and I took like French all the way through like high school and college and all that stuff. I'm still like useless at it, but I can pronounce some things, so that's nice.
Wow, that's cool.
Ben on our team, I tried like talking in French with him. He's Canadian, French Canadian.
Okay.
I was like, I don't know what you're saying, man. Like I can pick out a few words, but that's about it. All right. So we added Vite.
Okay. So first thing, can you go to the example app in SRC? There's a test setup file.
Yes.
Yeah. So here you can rename it to test setup.jest. Just rename it. Rename the file. So just.
I see.
Because the
migration. So we don't use it.
Yeah, because the migration doesn't replace it, because we don't want to be aggressive. So this is something we have to discuss with the next team. Okay. And next is in the project JSON of this example app, there's the test target. Also, we don't override them. So let's rename it to Jest.
Test Jest. Okay.
Yeah. Perfect. And now you can go back to the terminal. Bonjour. Hey, and you can go back to the terminal, and now you can run NX generator or NXG Vitest. It's the Vitest configuration that's going to be applied to the project, and space. So it's just Vitest and the name of the project. It's example.
So this was example app.
Yeah. So Vitest is the configuration generator that will detect that this is an Angular app. Oh, okay. This is normal. It crashes because if you go back to the project, I don't know why this project doesn't have a tsconfig JSON, which is the habit, like the default thing in Angular. So in NX, so maybe you can in the example app, can you just add a tsconfig JSON, just empty, just because we didn't. We could improve this configuration. This is so that it ignores the problem. Just put an empty JSON. Because
like an empty object,
and this is gonna work. Yeah, this is just very it's very specific to this project because it doesn't have the TS config.
Yeah, it's interesting. The standalone app does.
Yeah, I should have picked that one. I didn't think of that. Sorry. And now let's keep it. Let's wait for it to finish. And oh my god, yeah. And now let's remove the TS config JSON. We don't need it anymore. That was just,
okay.
This was a placeholder just for the migration to go. And the TS config spec JSON. I know there's a bug there because here it replaced the extents. It used the if you go out like the first line, it picks the local one, but you have to pick the one at the root, so you have to go
up a couple levels. I guess.
/ 2 folders up. Yeah, this is
and
good.
then is TS config or is it
TS config? Yeah.
Okay.
So this is very specific to this repo. Normally, in most workspaces, you wouldn't have to do these tricky things. And
too bad NGRX is not a shining bastion of what a workspace should be.
Do you hear this?
I say it all jest because NGRX is awesome. But, all right. So
and now you can run. Yeah.
So we didn't touch the project JSON. This is because we're inferring the target.
Yeah. If you go to the annex JSON file.
Yes. I wonder why you can't see it on there. But
yeah, I didn't load the console yet for some reason. In here, it should have added
plugins. There it is, the Vite plugin. Okay. So that'll target the test target.
So now, if you run the annex tests
example app,
it should fail for one reason. Can you do -- verbose? It's not because of that. Yeah, there's a problem. And okay, this is very specific to the workspace. I don't know why Angular build is not hoisted, because it's an transitive dependency of Angular and blah 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 blah. So let's just add it. So you just have to add it as a dev dependency.
Inside of
package JSON, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you shouldn't need this in a clear like new workspace, but I don't know why. Maybe
where is it? Dev dependencies. Okay, where do we need to add Angular? What?
Angular /build, and just pick the same selector as the same version as CLI. Yeah,
okay. Match it.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, perfect compiler CLI. Yeah, it should work. And okay, and now you have yarn again.
I'm getting nervous, Younes.
And oh my god, it's yarn. Yarn is slowing us down. Now go ahead. Now you can run the test. Make it verbose, or reset, or whatever.
I'm trying to keep up, man.
Oh yeah, you have to reset. It didn't upgrade the graph.
Just reset. It's still giving us the same error though.
Yeah, for some reason. Okay, that's good. Blah blah blah. Oh, the verbose is too verbose. Now go up. What did you? What went wrong? Okay. So can you go up again? A little bit. Okay, so here it's complaining because it says, "Oh, I can."
Everything's failing, Younes. We got 7 minutes left.
Yeah, we're there. It's easy. So here it's complaining about modules. Trying to go back to the bottom. It's complaining about importing modules. So if you go to the here, cannot use import blah blah blah. So if you go to the tsconfig spec.json, again, this is specific to this workspace. And if you in the compiler options, can you just add module?
Yeah. So we want to do
module ES next, because it's using common.js and Vitest is using ECMAScript module. So can you remove the verbose? Oh, yeah, because otherwise it's too verbose.
Well, it looks it's way too verbose.
Yeah, this is good. So now we're almost there. Oh, okay. This is also another problem. Can you go to the Vite config? This is known issue. Viteconfig.mts. And instead, can you add pool? This is something that we'll have to change in the line, whatever place. Yeah, here it's perfect. Pool and threads. We're gonna run the test, and this is amazing in Vitest.
I have no idea what we just did.
Yeah, so I'm gonna explain what it's trying. So in NX,
I imagine there's a pool of tests processes.
Of workers. You can you can see we're getting there. So we have tests that can work in Vitest. You can Yarn one doesn't install pure depths. So what happens is that a Vitest can run. Jest only works with virtual machines. So it isolates in Node.js in one process with virtual machines. It has with VMs. So it has memory leaks and lots of problems. But with Vitest, you can run each test in a different thread or each test in a different fork, all the tests in the same process without isolation, so that you don't have the memory leaks and stuff.
Okay,
and
so that's what we're doing here.
Yeah, there's just a known issue for that. And that's it. But now, as you can see, we have lots of tests that are using jest.fn. And of course, I'm not going to ask you to go replace them all because we would go out of time. Okay,
we can do it.
No, but there's a better option.
Okay, cool.
Because there are other things you have to import and stuff. So the other option is you go call npx code mode. So it's code mod. It's a one word code mod. Yeah, space jest/vitest. Slash. Yeah.
That.
Yeah. And then a space .t, which is the path of the target. Dash, sorry. Yeah. And then you have to give the path of projects/example app.
Okay.
So, this is the code mode is actually a repo where there are a lot of code modes and stuff that replace Jest, some parts of Jest with Vitest. So it's going to replace Jest.fn with Vitest.fn. It's going to make lots of this sort of replacement. And we're almost there. We're not going to fix all the tests, but I hope that we're going to fix most of them. Okay. Yeah, proceed anyway. Yes. Yes, we didn't commit anything. And okay, so it replaced the Jest.fn. Now we can run the test again and see how it goes.
Oh,
yes, almost there.
Two failures.
Yeah, let's fix
Where are they?
Don't panic.
I'm panicking, honest. Look. Oh gosh. Okay.
Oh my god, people are getting impatient in the restaurant. Let's cook this. So here's the problem in this test. So this test, if you go up, it's using the done callback. Okay.
Let's see, done.
Up,
okay.
Yeah, you see? And if you go to the its test, which is I don't see it because it's hidden behind my head. Okay, here at the right, you should have the async function. You have the function. It's not async. In just the test function at the here. The done callback is one of the things that exists in Jasmine and Jest, but doesn't exist in Vitest because they were created before async await. What we could do quickly is can you wrap this whole test in parentheses from done from here to the end of the test, and at the left of the done on the top, you can. After the dispatch, we're going to transform this into, we're going to write, we're going to create at the left again, you're going to create an arrow function that returns a new promise. Okay. Like this, new promise. So.
I see.
You see the trick, and done is the resolve, and it just works.
Yeah. So like this, I guess.
Oh, careful. You remove the parentheses after the here. This is perfect.
This is what we want. Okay. Yeah. I see what we did.
And so you can copy the new promise, and so if you run
the same error with the other test,
it's exactly the same one with the
god, we got 1 minute.
Okay, okay, and okay, so we could do the same for the two tests up at the bottom.
Okay,
it's can you just where are they?
I don't know. Is this it right here? Here's one.
Yeah. It's all the dones. You have to copy the callback with new promise and then wrap the whole thing with parentheses.
Where did I do that?
It was in the same file. Oh,
it was. Okay.
You copy from like copy the function, the call. Also like from here to exactly.
Okay, where did this other one go?
Up.
Done. Okay.
Yeah, there's this one, and
You need to see
here,
the next one.
99, and there's another one. There's another one. I think. Can you find it? Oh, no. Okay, and up maybe. Can you see it?
There it is.
Okay, here. Okay, good. Oh, yeah, it's good. Yeah. We're gonna make it.
Goodness.
Oh my god. Okay.
This better come grade.
No. There's one user effects. I know what's happening. Can you go back?
Yes.
What's the message? Okay. Oh, this one. Go to it. User effects.
Yes.
It's collection effect or user effect. Oh.
You got it.
Oh, okay. Almost.
It was.
But can we have extra time for these two tests?
Just do that for dramatic effect. There's nothing really happens.
Okay. What do you see? So just to show people what's happening for this one is special. I don't know. Is it the collection effect or the user effect that was failing? Oh, I love it. Okay. So can you go back to the user effect first? Because
where's user effect? User effect.
User dash dot effect maybe. Yeah.
Is it the name of the file?
Yeah. User dot with the dot. Yeah.
Effects spec.
Yeah. I think is it using fake async? So if it's using fake async, the problem is that if you go up, we're importing tests and before each and before all and describe at the first line. So you can just remove the first line because we should use the global ones when you were using fake async. Actually, we should not use fake async. But if you're using fake async, it's relying on Angular zones, and it needs its own JS, and it needs to run in a zone. And you just need V, yeah. And we need this, and the Vite, the analog plugin does the replaces the globals for that. This is just like a typing issue. It should work. It's just not picking the right typings. It's okay. We can fix that in the TS config later, but we're not going to do it. But if you run the test here, there should be only one test failing. And I love this one.
One error.
Okay, so one error, and let's look at this one. This one is amazing. It's a collection effect, and you know what's happening? It's saying check storage support, blah blah blah. It's not working, and I tried to understand what's happening. And you know what? Go up, and here for some reason, up again. It's using under the hood supported, which is a mock. Okay, so we have a spy there, and here you should v.fn is return undefined, and you have to add mock return value afterwards. And we have to return observable of true. And this is exactly what I was talking about at the beginning, is like all this problem of test doubles that are spies and mocks and that are return undefined, or and we should return value of true because it's an observable. You have to create like an observable with off.
Oh, I see. Of true.
Yeah, exactly.
I love ArcJS.
Yeah. And now let's see what happens. And you see, I was just working with this, and I don't know why it was working before anyway. And I have an idea. But anyway, and here.
Yay. So let me ask you something real quick, because I just don't use mocks that much. What's the difference between this and like doing like that? Is there a difference or
not really? Because here you're just providing like a mock implementation, so you're really implementing it, so you can return different things. What's interesting with mock return value is that you can change them. You can do v.fn and mock return value once, and you return A, and then mock return value once B, and then mock return value whatever, and it just returns all of
cool.
Anyway, so that was an example, but there's still a problem, but we're not going to solve, is that these tests are using snapshots. And the snapshots don't have the exact same format. Plus, there are a lot of other interference. So again, snapshots should be avoided as much as possible because they're over-specifying, because you're saying, okay, this HTML should be like this, but I don't care about the HTML. What I care about is that the button is gray and with round corners, you know.
Yeah.
And so we need visual snapshots, not HTML snapshots. But let's keep this for another time. So that's why I didn't create a PR, because the snapshots would be broken, and that would be like, if you see the diff on the left, if you open the Git diff, you'll see. Oh, touched my camera. Where are the snapshots?
Yeah.
Yeah. Here you can see, didn't even replace them because they don't have the same name, so it thinks they are different, and so it's
my daughter's calling me.
Okay, I really gotta go. So okay,
she heard the timer go off, I guess. I'm just
like,
she just likes to call me sometimes. They're off on Christmas break now, so.
Oh, okay, yeah, it starts now. Anyway, so so one last thing is just the link of I wrote a little migration guide for people to migrate. It's in the cookbook.
Cool. Let's pull that up real quick.
And that's it. Let's just share the link and let's
cool.
Call it a day.
Yeah, I'm so upset we missed it by like just a few seconds. I blame me.
No, it's Yarn. We can blame Yarn. We can blame the NGRX. We can blame Brandon, because
Brandon, this is on you, man.
Use bun. Okay, well,
cool.
Yeah,
so this is all laid out here.
Yeah. Exactly.
Awesome.
So that was the key takeaway I wanted to share.
Awesome, man. Well, this has been awesome. We need to go into your cookbook more some other time. This was fun. Thanks for.
And if anyone wants to contribute, it's open source. So if you have ideas, well, I don't want to be like, well, it's complicated. We just reach out. So I don't want it to be like just a group of articles. It has to be like a real guide with things related to each other. But anyway, if you want to participate, it's there, and it's open source.
I'm looking for the link to the GitHub.
It's not on the top right, or if you're on the page, if you're on one page, it should be at the bottom, isn't it? Edit this page.
Edit this page. Am I missing
it? Beyond above the previous button.
Yeah.
I will add the link. That's a good observation. Yeah, so it's there.
Yeah. What I was looking for is like most of them have just like a GitHub logo like right up here as well.
Yeah. That's
it's behind our faces, but yeah, like go over in this area.
I should add it.
Cool. But yeah, the edit this page is real nice because it'll take you to the actual markdown file.
That's awesome. That's the cool thing. So if there is any typo or anything you want to discuss, it's there. And if there are more important things to add, it's good.
Yeah, I agree with cello floss. Yeah, it was.
Thank you.
That was fun. We need to do more stuff with the timer. I like that. I feel like we need to play for more stakes though. Like put something up like if we could like automate something where like our I don't know. Like delete our wallet, like delete our crypto wallet if we don't accomplish the task in time.
So let's do this. Next time I come back and we do what I call time box TDD. I did that on stage with a timer of 1 minute. Time box TDD, you have a timer, and if you don't make a commit, if you have a limited time, I don't know if you can find anything I wrote about it. If time boxed TDD.
Let's look through your name in there.
Yeah, here you go. This was an intro, but I wrote like this is not really old video, but I gave a talk at it's called Limbo. It's Angular up years ago, but I should write something about it. So it's just a timer, and there's a plugin in WebStorm, and if you don't make a commit in like 5 minutes or 1 minute, it resets everything.
Resets everything?
Yeah, so you have to make baby steps. And I use that really in real life.
Really?
Yeah, I can come back and we talk about it, and I'll tell you why I'm using that.
Yeah. I thought you were gonna say like I wear a shock collar while I do it, and if I don't have a commit in time, I get a little zappy zap. But
that would be even better.
That's now if you want to talk extreme programming.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Well, we better wrap this up because it seems like my daughter.
Yeah.
We got a fan here though. Younes, are you from Tunisia?
No, I'm from Morocco. In French.
Morocco.
Oh, yeah, that's the reason why. I'm Moroccan and I live in France. Been
Nice,
like
nice, nice.
20 years in Morocco and now 20 years in France.
Oh, cool.
I just told my age.
Very cool. All right. Well, thanks so much for joining us, Younes. This was awesome. We'll need to, like we said, we need to get you on. We can look at like 10 box TDD. That would be fun to go through. So we'll figure it out sometime for 2025.
Be more than happy to.
Awesome. Thanks, man. We'll wrap it up there. Thanks everyone for watching. That was great. We'll wrap it up here.
Thank you.